Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. Coming up on today's show, Jeremy Fowler of ESPN gave some insight on what the Vikings plan on doing during the NFL draft this season. And also, Danielle Hunter at the Pro Bowl this weekend. He kind of gave some insight and gave his thoughts on his upcoming NFL free agency period. But before we dive into all that and more on today's show, I got a little bone to pick with the real ones here. I was looking at the analytics on the channel over the last 28 days, and of all the views we have gotten on our videos, shorts, live shows, 68.4% of you guys aren't subscribed. So let's change that with some questions around the draft, Danielle Hunter, Kirk Cousins. You're not going to want to miss a thing around your Minnesota Vikings. So hit that subscribe button, lock us in, and let's change that number. What's going on, guys? Welcome in. My name is Patrick Siepman. Like I said, coming up on today's show, Jeremy Fowler pretty much hinted at the Vikings trading up for a quarterback. And then also, I've been dying to get an update around Danielle Hunter, whether it's from him or his agent, or obviously Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. Well, we actually got one from Danielle Hunter directly himself, a direct quote from him from the Pro Bowl, which we'll get to at the tail half of today's show, so make sure you guys stay tuned. But Jeremy Fowler, let's kick it to him and dive into the quote he had around the Vikings potentially trading up for a quarterback. He said, people around the league are keeping an eye on the Minnesota Vikings at number 11. They did a lot of quarterback homework last offseason and could eventually target one high in the draft with free agent Kirk Cousins' future in Minnesota uncertain. But moving from number 11 into the top 3 would cost Kwesi Adofo-Mensah a ton of draft capital. And in terms of trading the top 3, what 2 quarterbacks would I want the Vikings to go get? There's really only 2 of them. It'll only be Drake Maye and Caleb Williams. I understand Jaden Daniels coming off the Heisman Trophy that he just won last season. He's got unreal talent, but I also do think he has, I think he's a low ceiling, or a low floor, high ceiling type of prospect. And I don't know if I would want to take a chance on a guy like that. Kind of, where the Vikings roster stands right now. I don't know if I would want to trade all that draft capital up for a player like that. But in terms of 2 guys that no doubt I would want to bring in, Drake Maye and Caleb Williams are 2 of the best in the game. Like, those are 2 can't-miss draft prospects that I really do believe can change the direction of a franchise. And listen, Caleb Williams, I don't think the Bears will, give him in the division, but, you never know. And the Vikings, if they have the best trade package that they are offering to Chicago, maybe they just say screw it and take it. But in terms of that number 2 spot, a guy like Drake Maye would be fantastic. And maybe the Commanders, maybe they want to go veteran QB route and kind of go a different direction, and they have that number 2 overall pick, out there and available. And if the Vikings could somehow get Drake Maye, man, it'd be special. We've heard the comparisons to, a Justin Herbert type of quarterback. He's got that big-time arm. He's got that dual-threat ability, and I just like what he's about, man. He puts the ball in an absolute laser, can touch every blade of grass on the football field. In terms of these 2 guys you see on screen right now, Vikings trade up for them. I really don't care how much it costs. You go do it. But the question becomes, does it make sense for the Vikings to unload all this draft capital and trade up for a quarterback? Because it's not like the Vikings are right now drafting at 5th or 6th. They're at 11th. And those teams at 1 or 2, they're probably going to want to stay in the top 6, top 7. So with the Vikings at 11th overall, you're going to have to give them a haul to move up into the top 3. So does it make sense for the Vikings? I don't think it does. I think where they stand right now, and with all the holes that they have on this roster, does it make sense to, really kind of consolidate all those assets and go get your type of guy, or go get your guy, in Williams or Maye? I don't really think so. Because 1, I don't think the Bears are moving Williams in the division. I think they're going to draft him. Number 2, I also think the Commanders are just going to sit there and take Drake Maye, and I don't think the Vikings could offer, a good enough haul to give them a reason not to draft either Maye or Daniels, whoever they do like. So I would not trade up for a quarterback. I get what Fowler's saying, but I just think the Vikings, there's just too many holes, especially on defense, to go risk that. So my original take, if you guys know here on the channel, I said sign Kirk Cousins to a 1 or 2 year deal and draft a quarterback. I've kind of moved off that. I want the Vikings to sit still at 11, draft a quarterback like J.J. McCarthy, and then don't bring back Kirk. I think with where the division is, all 3 teams besides the Vikings are on the ups. I think the Vikings kind of need to roll the die here a little bit and say, hey, we could get a rookie quarterback, obviously on that rookie contract, build the roster around him, and try to win that way instead of kind of just putting a Band-Aid over an open gash which I think Kirk Cousins would necessarily be. And plus, we got this report from Charlie Walters, as he says the buzz now is that it will take $90 million guaranteed for 2 seasons to bring back Kirk, despite that he's not yet fully recovered from an Achilles surgery in November to sign free agent Kirk Cousins. If that's the case, he certainly won't get that from the Vikings. So my offer to Kirk Cousins would be 2 years, $50 million, fully guaranteed, or you can walk right out that door. I appreciate what Kirk has done for this organization. He has been a great leader, a great face of the franchise, but I just think it's time push comes to shove eventually in the NFL. I want the Vikings to sit back, stay at 11. If your guy, J.J. McCarthy, is there, you take him and you start him week 1 and just see how it plays out. Because let's just say the Vikings, J.J. doesn't work out or Michael Penix doesn't work out at 11, and you win 3 or 4 games next season, well, guess what? You're going to be drafting at the top of next year's draft, and you can try it again. So sit still at 11, draft your guy, play him, figure out what he is, and let's just say the optimistic view. Let's just say Penix and J.J., let's just say they work out. Oh, wow, you got a great young quarterback on a rookie deal, and you could go win a Super Bowl. So that's what I would do. But let me know. Should the Vikings trade up for a quarterback? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no down in the comments section. In terms of trading up for a guy, I'm probably typing my N for no's, but let me know if you guys disagree down in the comments section. Coming up here in just a second, Danielle Hunter. He spoke directly about his upcoming free agency period, so we tell you guys about that here in a second. But first, I got to tell you guys about today's sponsor, and that is Game Time, the best ticket purchasing app out there on the market right now. It's the best seats, lowest price guaranteed, and the prices drop as the event gets closer. Lowest price guaranteed. I love using Game Time. It is the best in the biz. Make sure you guys do get hooked up today, whether it's, Luke Bryan coming to Minnesota or Bucks at Timberwolves this Friday night, whatever it may be. Make sure you guys do use Game Time. And also, if you guys are planning on going to the big game this Sunday versus the Niners and the Chiefs, if you guys use code Vegas100, doesn't matter if you guys have already used Game Time before, new time user or if you used it all the time, doesn't matter. If you guys use code Vegas100, you guys will get $100 off the big game. So make sure you guys do get hooked up with that. But also, if you guys are a new user, first-time users that use the code VikingsChat will get $20 off your first purchase. Take advantage of the deals Game Time has going on right now. No matter what it is, whatever sporting event, music show, whatever it may be that you plan on going to that requires buying a ticket, make sure you guys do download Game Time today. Code Vegas100 and code VikingsChat for first-time users, and you'll get $20 off. Link for that will be in the comment section and description of today's show. Download Game Time today. It's the best seats, lowest price guaranteed. So this beast right here, Danielle Hunter, gave an update on his free agency period, and me and my man Tex, producing today's show, were just talking about it coming on, because Tex saw this photo, and he was like, Danielle Hunter is the most vascular guy I've ever seen, and this photo is absolutely sweet, man. Just love Danielle Hunter. He's one of the freakiest athletes. Every single time I watch him or just look at a photo of him, I just can't believe this guy hasn't been juicing since he's been 10 years old. But just kind of want to give you guys a tidbit on that. But Danielle Hunter, this is what he said on his free agency period, talking about at the Pro Bowl. Somebody just let him, what's the update? And he says, just letting everything play its course. I did my job. Everything's in my agent's hands and my team's hands now, and whomever it is that's out there. My job, like I said, is to do my job, and I'm going to make sure I stay in shape, and whatever it is, and whatever is best available for me, I'll take that. And guys, I think Danielle Hunter's good as gone. It really hurts me to say this, but just from what I've heard from Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell in the press conferences, it just doesn't seem like they're interested in bringing Danielle Hunter back. And listen, he's going to get a payday. Teams are going to pay a hefty price for a guy that frankly deserves it. I mean, this past season, it was his best year in the NFL, no doubt. We've always talked about the critique with him, he needs to get better in the run game. Well, this year he had 23 TFLs. He was fantastic at setting the edge this season. Also, still just getting 16.5 sacks, 85 pressures. The dude's legit. The dude's one of the best edge rushers in the league, and I think he's underrated, still to this day. And, some teams are going to toss him a bag. Kind of gets me back to the point that I don't think the Vikings will bring him back because I think teams are going to offer him a ton of money because edge is such a premium position in this league. And a guy like Danielle Hunter in his prime hitting the market, if you're a team that's kind of on the verge of contending or you just want a piece to get you over the top, Hunter would be a great option in free agency. And PFF, they projected each of the kind of top edges, kind of contract projections heading into this free agency period. And they got Hunter signing a 3-year, $21.7 million per year contract in free agency. I really doubt that the Vikings would give him that, but you never know. But some other options for the Vikings: Chase Young at 1 year, $15 million, Clowney at 1 year, $9 million. Bring back Zadarius Smith at 2 years for like a $24 million deal, or Jonathan Greenard of the Houston Texans. Maybe you go get a cheaper option, a younger option. But if you're signing a free agent, I'm probably just bringing Hunter back, but I just don't know if the Vikings, will. But thank you guys so much for watching today's show. If you guys made it to the end, we're starting the Real One roll call back again here on the channel, so I can know all the real ones are. Type Real One down below if you made it all the way to the end, and thank you guys so much. If you did so, it's pretty cool that you guys watched this whole thing. And always, make sure you guys are subscribed here to the channel. Going to be going live this Wednesday on the channel for the latest around this football team. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate taking time out of your day and tuning in. And as always, go Vikes, everybody.